Okay, we're going to have a little look at our slip pocket now. So you'll need your 2 slip pocket panels. They're 6 by 6, and you're going to lay them right sides together. And I'm going to do that the other way up because I can. And here we go, look, Franken fusing lots of patchwork pieces because we're in lockdown, and although I've got some, I don't want to waste any. So along the bottom edge, I'm gonna make a mark. I'm going to make 2 marks, and they're roughly about 3 inches apart, I guess. And I'm going to stitch in from that first mark, just a couple of stitches to get to the 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Back stitching on at the beginning, and then I'm going to stitch all the way around the outside of my pocket. Using a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now I've already added my my tag to the pocket. I like to put my business name tags on my slip pockets. So I do that before I make the pocket up so the stitching isn't showing on the inside. So go all the way around the outside to that first mark that you made. When you get to the first mark you made, come out towards the raw edge and back stitch. So we now have there's the 2 marks, and you can see that I've stitched down from those 2 marks. So we're going to trim off the corners at 45 degrees. And that's all 4 corners, being careful not to cut into our stitching. Once we've trimmed off the corners at 45 degrees, I'm just going to take an extra sliver off at a much shallower angle, which just reduces the bulk in the corners of the pocket. So now you've got a whole load of beautiful triangular confetti. So when the wedding season opens up again, and I know a lot of people have cancelled weddings and what have you, you'll have loads of confetti. So now you can see we've literally taken away quite a lot out of that corner. We're going to turn our pocket right sides out. We're going to use a pointy, whoops, let's find the pointy thing, the corner pointy pokey thing. These things have an actual proper name. I'm not sure if they do. And I'm just going to poke out my corners to make sure that they're nice and square, nice and sharp. If you use scissors, beware. Using scissors is not always your friend. I'm just going to turn that open edge in, and it should turn in quite easily because of the way you've done that little bit of stitching just to the sides. It just helps to turn it in. So I just like to put a few clips along that bottom edge just to kind of make sure that it stays straight, because sometimes they tend to curve, and I don't like that. It's not a great look. And this is quite thick where I've done my franking fusing, but I'm using my fingers just to finger roll the edges to make sure that they come out. I'm going to find my pressing mat. I'm going to move that though. And I'm going to press those side seams. New iron, ladies. So we've got steam. Yay! First time I've had steam for I don't know how long. My wonderful little iron that I've been using for ages and ages and ages went pop and decided it was never going to work again. So I had to purchase myself a new one. Not sure I've got the hang of this one yet though. One of these steam generator things. So let's just pop that down there. So now that's my pocket all nicely pressed. And I'm just going to top stitch along the top edge. Let's move my too many things here. Oh, steam didn't like that. Steam has shot straight through and onto my table. Oh, I haven't tried a steam iron on my table before. Now I know. And there we have a nice square slip pocket. And you can see we're going rainbow hog wild again. So having prepared that, we're going to pop it out of the way so we don't lose it. I'm going to stick it inside of my bag because that's a good place to have it so that I don't lose it. And we're going to have a look at our zipper pocket, so how we construct our zipper pocket. So you'll need your 2 zipper pocket lining panels, both of which will have been interfaced with a woven interfacing, and your number 3 zipper. Now I've got a longer zipper which I've cut down because I wanted a multicolored one to go with my multicolored fabric. So let's just move some of the stuff out of the way because it's all piling up here. So with one of my zipper pocket lining panels facing upright, I'm going to put my zipper across the top edge, also right sides up. Now you can clip this in place if you want to. I don't. I generally just position it in place and then stitch. I find this is a lot easier with a slightly longer zipper than it is with one the right size. So. And I tend to buy longer zippers because I know I can cut them down, whereas I can't make a short zipper grow. So you're going to stitch along that edge where the zipper is right sides up, with the zipper pull facing upwards and the lining panel facing upwards, at a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. Scant 1/4 inch being less than a 1/4 inch. It's very difficult to quantify exactly what that means. But less than a 1/4 inch. As long as you're on the edge of the zipper and on the edge of the lining panel, you'll be absolutely fine. All the way along the top edge. I tend to not put my zipper foot on for this part. So now that's attached along the top edge. Take your second lining panel, lay it right sides up on your table, and let me just make sure I've got the right. Let me just the right way up. Yep, that's it. And pull your zipper out from the first lining panel. So unfold it and place the 2 panels so that they're actually right sides together. But pull that zipper out from the top because you want the zipper to lay along the top edge of the lower lining panel. Now the one thing you do need to make sure is that the edges of the lining panels are matching. So the short edges are matching. The bottoms won't, but the short edges will. And then you can either pin or clip it if you feel you need to, if you feel more secure. You're going to stitch along that top edge again at a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. So your zipper is right side up again on that lower panel. Oh, threads! So now we have our 2 lining panels with a zipper in the middle, and from the wrong side you can't actually see the zipper because it's kind of disappeared in between the seam allowance. So we're now going to take our iron, and with our pocket panels right sides down, we're going to press the seam allowance either side of the zipper open. Now you can easily press a nylon zipper like this without any bother at all. Now I'm going to give it a little squirt of steam. It's a bit of a novelty because I've never really had steam. My old iron stopped steaming within a week or 2 of having it, so it's a bit of a novelty, but I hadn't figured that actually using a wool pressing mat the steam will go straight through, because this does generate quite a lot of steam when it goes. So now I've pressed those 2 seam allowances open, and I like to turn it over and give it a good press from this side as well, because sometimes you get a little pucker at the side here. In fact, I've got one there. So you need to pull that fabric out. You don't want any puckers in your lining. This is the bit that will show, so this is the bit that's actually most important. So there we have our, I need to get a tea towel and put it underneath if we're going to do that. It's wet everywhere. Okie dokie, so now we have our perfect zipper within our 2 lining panels. And because I've used a longer zipper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my zipper pull so that it's sitting between the 2 lining panels, and I'm just going to put a couple of stitches through the very end there within the seam allowance so that my zipper doesn't actually come off, but it keeps everything nice and square and my zipper where it needs to be. And if I want to, I can trim off the very end of my zipper at this point. So goodbye zipper. I'm going to do the same at the other end too. Get rid of the zipper. I'm just going to pop a couple of stitches because there's nothing more annoying than your zipper pull coming off when you're not noticing it. There we go. So now our zipper pocket, it's not a pocket zipper lining, it's a lining zipper pocket part has been completed, and I'll come back to you and show you how we fit this and the slip pocket to our lining.